Hello, my name is Mike Amos, and among my other many projects, I'm an e2E advocate. E2E is a nationwide movement launched by independent business owners to help professionals make the move from employee to entrepreneur, E2E. There has never been a greater time in history to become an entrepreneur. There has also never been more options to consider, decisions to make, or risks to avoid. Today's presentation is really about stacking the cards in your favor by giving you a thorough blueprint for success. We call it your entrepreneur plan, or Plan E. Before we dive in, let's begin with just a few warm-up questions to see exactly where it is that we stand. First one is a bit personal. That's good because even though entrepreneurship is business, it's also very personal and will reflect everything about who you are. Which three areas of your life do you want more freedom and control over? Now remember, there's no right answer. Of course, which resonates with you the most? Think about it for a minute, let it sink in, and let's move on to the next question. Next thing is, what are your two whys? Who do you pour your money and who do you pour your time into the most? It's okay if it's for yourself. No one's judging. And also, what accomplishment, pursuit, lifestyle, or dream drives you the most? And once again, it's okay if it's an actual thing. Think about this for a minute. Digest it. What's your why? Now that we know what makes you tick, let's just do one more. Which of these two quotes hits you harder? The first is a powerful quote by Tony Gaskins. If you don't build your dream, someone will hire you to build theirs. Or do you prefer the famous words of wisdom by Eleanor Roosevelt? The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. If you had to pick one or the other, which one is more you? Think about it for a minute, digest that. With these thoughts and feelings in mind, let's move on. The entire mission of E2E is to empower you to live on your terms and to help you gain more freedom over both your time as well as your money. Even if you have entrepreneurship running through your blood, if it's in your DNA, you won't truly be fulfilled and happy until you make that move and make that jump. This is about being who you were meant to be, because only then will you build what you were meant to build, impact the lives you were meant to impact, and make a difference in the world that desperately needs entrepreneurs to lead the way. Remember, the average employment position is not designed to offer freedom. The exact opposite. It's designed to pay you a defined amount of money for a defined and specific job or title. I hope you hear this loud and clear. Entrepreneurs are not designed for predefined limitations. They thrive on flexibility. They need freedom to be creative as well as to be able to dream. But here's the catch. Freedom requires time and freedom requires money. And entrepreneurship is the only way to really gain control. When you punch a clock for someone else, some other entrepreneur is getting close to that freedom, not you. So as an employee, if your plan A was to get a promotion and plan B was finding a better job, you may now realize that you need a new plan. So what's next? Your plan E leads to the entrepreneurial lifestyle, owning your day, working when you want, collaborating with whoever you like. It's your escape plan for making a smooth transition from where you are now to the business that you want. Your entrepreneur plan gives you an easier way by lowering the risk and removing obstacles. And probably most importantly, your plan E can put you in the helping hands of experienced E2E leaders who can guide you on the journey. There will always be failures along the road. There's no escaping that on your way to building the business. But a solid plan can keep you moving forward in the midst of those stumbles so you're not forced to retreat back to employment and lose and give up on the dream. It's the difference between hitting a dead end or hitting the mark. Having a clear, solid plan dramatically increases your chance of actually making it. Eventually, freedom over time and money. That's the target we're shooting for. So let's explore the essential elements of a solid Plan E. We're going to go over the risks, the reality, the mindset, the answers, the people, the options, and finally, the E factor. First, the risks. Any one of these risks can knock you back. The goal is to calculate the particular risk for the business that you choose. You need to ask yourself some questions. What are the startup costs? Can you afford those? Is there a proven system to follow that actually creates predictable results? Do you have to develop your own marketing material from scratch? Or can you utilize someone else's who has already developed it? As you know, technology is essential to any business today. Is the technology already in place? Are you going to have to assemble it? Can you share the tech costs with others to lower the investment? Can you get cash positive before you run out of capital? Either having too few customers or having too many can be a problem. Are you prepared for both of those scenarios? How fast do you think you can increase cash flow to go from burning it to making it? And then also, have you considered the legal documents and contracts you need to protect your business? That's a lot of questions to consider, but looking at how to lower or avoid these risks should be one of the first steps you actually make. If it sounds like hard work, good, it is. True entrepreneurs never back away from hard work. They welcome the challenge. By being realistic, you can help prevent loss of momentum, loss of your business, and as well as loss of your dreams. Speaking of being realistic, our next essential is reality. I'm going to put this bluntly. Becoming a successful entrepreneur is going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. If you want to earn the reward, then you've got to get through the part that gets you to the lasting freedom and success that owning a business can provide. But that's going to be tough, and you're going to have to be tough. That's reality, but it can also be well worth it. Just know it's going to be hard. How hard and worth it is it to become an entrepreneur compared to all other opportunities? Well, let's chart it. Easy is on the left. Hard is on the right. Worth it is at the top. Not worth it is at the bottom. First, we'll mark down low skills and high skill jobs. A low skill job, one that almost any one of us at any time can be trained to do, can be quite easy, but probably doesn't pay much at all, making it what we consider not worth it for many. Now, on the other hand, high skill jobs require more of a greater training and a greater level of training, as well as education, intelligence, and or talent, or a combination of all of these. Due to how extraordinarily well the individuals who qualify for these jobs are, the work can become relatively easy for them and also be worth it, as high-skilled jobs can pay well. The problem with this whole scenario is that high-skilled jobs, there's fewer positions available and fewer people who actually qualify. When you put these kind of jobs out of reach of most of the public, it becomes a problem. But note this, even high-skill employees somewhere up the ladder are working for an entrepreneur who determines when they work and how much they earn. Always keep that in mind. Now we add the low and the high paid managers. Low paid manager positions, which only pay a little more than low skilled jobs, load up on more responsibility as well as more headaches. These jobs are generally harder to do and they add stress as well as pressure, but are only little more worth it. Sure, high paid management position often comes with a pay hike, but it also involves massive pressure and long hours. This can make the higher salaries and perk only seem just a little more worth it. Finally, we mark the opportunity of the entrepreneur. The reality is clear. It is the hardest, but also the most worth it. There are countless entrepreneurs that have no talent, intelligence, or training that you or me could possibly do. What they do is they have grit, determination, vision, and self-belief. They welcome the hardships because they know it will prepare them and qualify them for the most of unlimited possibilities offered only by business ownership. For the prize of their freedom, as well as their dreams, they're willing to run the gauntlet. Are you? One of the phenomenon you will likely face is what marketing guru Seth Godin referred to as the dip. Often when entrepreneurs first get started during what we call the honeymoon phase, there is considerable reward. But then, as the realities of the business actually set in, endless hours of work with constant frustrations for little money and less appreciation, the effort for a time can far outweigh the initial rewards. This dark valley is when most people actually quit. It's the boneyard of the business world. But if you can push through this dip, on the other side is the rise. And at the top, the payoff. Efforts are rewarded as the business now scales forward with your dreams. This is the reality. Will your dip beat you, or will you persist and win over? You can read more about this in Seth Godin's book, The Dip. It's fast and uplifting read. Check that out. Knowing the reality, it's time to talk about the mindset that every single entrepreneur must have. It's an absolute prerequisite for success. Best-selling author Steve Siebold said, "You're either growing or you're dying. Stagnation does not exist in the universe. Here's the mindset you need to keep growing and preventing stagnation." You're going to face a chasm of struggles. There's no way around it. Expect it. The luxury of the 9-to-5 days are a thing of the past. Welcome to 16-hour days, even on weekends. Hobbies, entertainment, you might want to park those for a period of time. Business is going to come first, even before family, for a time period. Get used to hearing no. You'll need all the positivity you can get, so negative people in your life, they're out. Prepare for every day to be uncomfortable for a period of time, and many filled with emergency-like type situations and scenarios. This is the mindset of the entrepreneur, especially when starting out. We are willing to make these sacrifices because we believe it will be absolutely worth it in the future for ourselves as well as our family and our inner circle. To earn the life that we want, to cross the divide from others owning your time as well as your money to you owning it, you have to become mentally tough. These 4 mental toughness tips will help you prepare for the resilience required to work on that same goal for years. Pushing through failure after failure, you must apply sustained concentration. It's also known as persistence focus. Emotion is a poor navigator for your business, but it's an excellent at increasing self-motivation, inspiring others, as well as to support you and remain dedicated to your mission. Use logic, and use logic fueled by data, metrics, and brutal honesty to steer your business. And number 4, face your fears. Push forward with the courage of someone who has nothing to lose. These tips will help you make that mental leap. You've heard me use the term grit today. Grit is sticking with your future day in, day out, not just for the week, not just for the month, but for all the time that it needs, for the years. This is perhaps the chief quality that determines who persists and who quits, who succeeds and who fails. Grit cannot be taught, grit cannot be bought, but it is something you must possess if you're going to overcome the chaos of the origination and the traction of getting your business off the ground. With your mindset in place, you're ready to write down the answers you must have before you start your business. These are answers that are the prerequisites before you make any moves at all. This is the core to Plan E. Consider them carefully, research them thoroughly. You are certainly welcome to consult me as a resource for each. Let's start with the industry. With intention, what industry will you choose? Well, you have to consider the stability, the potential, the trends, and the size of each industry you're possibly considering. Who's your market? Not what, but who. Who is the precise client group that you'll be serving and looking to serve? Every industry is filled with different demographics and target consumers. Identify yours, be specific. What's your differentiator? What makes your offering different than other competition and other competitors in the marketplace? What's your special formula, your secret sauce? Can others easily copy it, or can it be protected from your competitors? What is your clearly defined product or service? What do you do? How much will it cost you to make, and then how much will you sell it for? Who will provide your business with the materials, inventory, or services that you need to run? What is the big solution that you're going to bring to the marketplace and bring to the world? Write down the one great problem that you're going to solve and why your market wants or needs this solution so desperately. And lastly, what unique ability qualifies you and your business partners to be the ones to solve this great problem for your market? Defining those parameters for your business is critical work that will refine your vision and reshape and sharpen your focus. It will help shield you from the temptation to be all the things to all the people and prevent you from actually building something that you love but few will actually buy. With your answers in hand, it's time to determine the people you need to surround yourself with and involve yourself with from day one. After all, the people you pick are just as critical as the business that you choose to be in. Your partners, your mentors, and collaborators will impact every way you'll be measured as an entrepreneur. What your success will look like and what your income will look like as well. As the great Jim Rohn said, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Think about the 5 people in your life currently. Do you want to be the average of them? To be a truly successful entrepreneur, it may be time to make some hard decisions about who you actually spend your time with. Our core number one belief with E2E is that we lose when we go at it alone, and we win when we depend upon one another as a team. I had the right people help me. That's why I do what I do with the E2E program now. I pay it forward. Mentorship is essential for entrepreneurs to succeed. It's very, very important. At every step, you'll need the strength of encouragement. You'll need step-by-step guidance. You'll need experience from those who have gone before you so you can learn from them. And then the all-important laughter, the support, the friendship, just the sounding board that helps us bear the defeats as well as share the victories with someone who understands. Helen Keller put it best, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. As we approach the finish line of your Plan E, let's examine the options available. Remember, you're the boss. You will decide if you work 4 hours a week, 40, or 80. Working more hours can give you velocity, but any number of hours is viable. It's up to you. Some entrepreneurs can produce substantial incomes with very small but very focused time investments. It all depends on your business and what you choose to be in. Spare time, part-time, full-time, big time, you're the boss. Take heart in this quote from Inc. magazine. Many people are working full-time but also pursuing their business passions on the side. These people are just as much as entrepreneurs as the ones who do it full-time. Don't let anyone tell you that 4 hours a week, working early mornings, late nights, or weekends is not the sweat of a true entrepreneur or the foundation of a great business. And now here's the final essential element of your plan, the E factor. The factor every entrepreneur must look at in our post-pandemic, technology-first, new normal environment. The E factor is the digitally enabled entrepreneur. The advantages of being able to work from anywhere, with anyone, at any time, with the low risk, low investment, zero inventory, and scalability that a digital business can offer is undeniable. It's not a pie in the sky, futuristic, or only techies. It's real, it's happening right now, and it's very possible for you. When looking at adding a digital business to your career portfolio, make sure it has many of these items as possible, as many as possible. Does the business offer videos for text, email, and web marketing? Is the business ready to manage with mobile tools? Can you close sales, communicate with clients over screen share? Can clients and customers complete transactions online? Will you have the marketing tools that you need to easily generate leads and build an online presence from day one? Can you communicate with your teams 100% digitally and virtually? The more remote capabilities that you can check off this list, the better chance that your success will happen. Now that you have the essentials, you need a solid plan E. Completing this plan will help you get organized, get clarity, avoid setbacks, and accelerate your success. My final challenge to you, just live it. Being an entrepreneur is about breaking free, no excuses, no holding back, no looking back. Own the freedom to be your own boss, set your own schedule, work from anywhere, focus on what's important to you, remove limits, and become the leader that you were meant to be. Embrace this. What then is freedom? The power to live as one actually wishes. Freedom is going to be different from everybody. It's a unique thing. So what is your freedom? You need to understand it and you need to work towards it. If you were born to be an entrepreneur, a free business leader, I'm here to tell you today on behalf of all my fellow E2E advocates, there's an easier way. You can make the move. If you're ready, then we're willing and available to help you plot your escape and plan your success. Reach out to us as E2E advocates directly and let us help you.